Hello and welcome to the 9th episode of the Bull Session podcast. I'm PlutoCoffins and this is my co-host Jeremiah.
Sup, y'all?
He's black again. That is why you will hear such quirky things. I'm just fucking with you. Everyone thinks I'm a fucking racist, bro. It's probably because I say shit like that.
Maybe.
But for real though, on a different note, do you know how many cops it takes to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
None. They just beat the room because it's black. I don't know. I like that joke. But I was watching Joe Rogan today, dude, and like you like Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
Whenever I was watching the one with Bill Burr. By the way, I really fucking like Bill Burr. Like, like for real. Like in terms of comedians, like he ain't that funny. He funny, but he ain't that funny, right? But he's just such a stand-up guy. Like, he tells you what his faults... He's 100% honest with you, and I really dig that in a person. So, good on Bill Burr. I like Bill Burr.
Yeah. He seems
like a cool
real
dude.
motherfucker.
Yeah. He'll be talking about shit I have no interest in, and I'll just listen to him, because I know that dude... Because he'll tell you what he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
And he'll tell you when he does know what the fuck he's talking about. So, I believe him. You know what I mean? I like Bill Burr. Like, you'd be talking about cars. I don't know shit about cars. I don't like cars. I have a car. That's about it.
Yeah.
But I'll watch it.
He has decent taste in cars. Some of them I was just like,
some of them
what?
I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Some shit
like that
like,
bus looking shit.
Yeah.
That was a little weird.
The fucking one that looked like a fucking car tumor.
Yeah. Yeah. But I like Bill Burr. But I was watching the one, and they're like talking about fighting and shit. Like MMA fighting. They talk about fighting throughout the fucking podcast. But the second time they talk about fighting, they're talking about MMA shit. And it's just, I always like to fucking exercise when I watch Joe Rogan. Because somehow Joe Rogan works exercising or fighting into his fucking podcast. It makes me feel like a little bitch. Especially since he, runs 5 hours a fucking day. I'm just like, okay, I gotta get at least 30 minutes in. At least 30 fucking minutes, you know what I mean? But, I don't know. I like watching Joe Rogan for that. It gets me a little pumped up. You know what I mean? Our podcast doesn't do that. Our podcast it encourages you to turn off your brain, smoke some weed, fucking listen to drivel for a few hours. Joe Rogan, he's a real man. He's an influencer, bro. I also like Joe Rogan a lot. He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, I fucked with Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's a badass.
I would smoke with Joe. 100%.
So I already talked about this on my channel today, but Live PD... or I guess yesterday by the time I upload this, but Live PD and cops were canceled. My thoughts are, what the fuck does it have to do with George Floyd? It's just A&E being a fucking virtue signaling cunt. And that's basically it. What are your thoughts? And also, I'm a little disappointed it's canceled. I know you don't feel the same like that, but I liked watching it. It was a guilty pleasure for me. What do you think about it?
Well, I never really watched the show, so the fact that it was canceled, I was just like, oh, okay.
It's a badass show, though. I've shown you clips. You laughed at some of the clips.
I have, yeah. I don't know. I'm just, wasn't into it. I do agree, I personally don't know any real reason for that show to be canceled, especially in relation to...
Other than virtue signaling.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. Again,
a bunch of fucking companies are doing that. Let's talk about that. We'll go back to the cop shit in a minute, but let's talk about this for a second. No, let's finish the cop shit. What the fuck am I doing? Sorry, I'm high as fuck.
No, yeah, I get you. It's just it is a little weird. I was just I just didn't get it. It's like fucking, what's her name? Pelosi and the fucking kente cloth. It's just why did you do that?
I have no idea what you're referencing.
Oh, shit. I think it's her name, Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi, yeah.
She held a little conference and she had kente cloth, which is African
garb
fabric, patterns.
Garb means fabric, right?
Yeah, it's fabric. It's more of the patterns is what makes it kente cloth.
Right.
She had that draped over her. She did a kneel for and I was just what, everyone's just what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. How's that helping?
Just give us police reform. What the fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah. How's that helping people? You're just kneeling for a fucking photo.
It's kind of like that.
That's what I feel. Yeah, I agree.
It's
I feel A&E's doing the same shit.
You're missing the ball. That's not exactly. That's not what we want.
And also, with Live PD being on the air, there's been instances where it's shown police being brutal, and people have gotten money from that shit. Of course, there was a case that I read about on the article. You were in the room, but I read an article about Live PD being canceled, and some guy got killed, and they pulled that clip. But then I was thinking, like, it is television. They can't show a guy getting murdered.
Yeah.
So it makes sense they pull that, but they show the other shit. You know what I mean? So it kind of, in a way, helps police transparency, but I can see, like, they do pull clip, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, if someone's getting killed, that's a snuff flick.
Yeah, exactly. So, they can't show that.
That makes sense.
Wasn't, like, John F. Kennedy killed on live TV? Isn't that why they do that?
I don't know.
It might be why they do that.
I feel like
I'm pretty sure he was killed on live TV.
Were they showing motherfuckers get killed prior to that?
It probably didn't happen that often. You know what I mean? They didn't, like, have live shit like that. So, like, John F. Kennedy being shot live like that is, like, probably one of the first instances that happened, especially on national TV.
Your fucking president.
Yeah, like, your fucking president, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But let's talk about, in a similar vein to virtue signaling, like Live PD being canceled, YouTube is giving money to black creators specifically. Now, I'll start off with my opinion on it, and then we'll go to yours. So I've been doing YouTube since my channel is no longer monetized, although someday I have plans to monetize it again if people watch my shit, or what the fuck ever. I might monetize my channel again, so I'm not saying that I'm never going to monetize again. But as of right now, it's not monetized. But I used to have it monetized, right? And then I didn't post for a while, and then I got it unmonetized, right? I made like $2 a video before Adpocalypse, because I started posting a little before Adpocalypse, and I got enough notoriety before Adpocalypse. It literally happened like 2-3 weeks after I started making money on this shit, right? I would make like $2 a video, right? And then, after Adpocalypse, I'd make like a penny, 2 pennies a video, right? Nothing. I mean, obviously, if you're an actual creator, you're making a little bit more than that. Like, if you got an actual audience and shit, like a big-ass audience, you're making a lot more than that. But still, I made from $2 to a fucking penny. That's a big-ass drop, right? I don't think YouTube should pay its creators first, because they haven't been paying their fucking creators for 4 or 5 years now, right? What are they doing giving money to black... And also, if you want to give money away, and if you do want to help the protests and shit, or if you want to help police reform, donate to something that helps that. Donating money to black creators who are just getting money because they're black. By the way, they're YouTubers, so they're probably a little well off. Probably have a nice-ass Patreon account, right? Giving money to them doesn't help the black community necessarily. It could help, maybe some of them are struggling, but I doubt a lot of them are struggling. The majority of them are not struggling. They're YouTubers. Like, come on. They make their living off of the internet. They have means of getting money. You know what I mean? I just see it as a virtue signal bullshit thing, saying, oh, we're for the protests, we're doing this shit, blah, blah. Why don't you pay your actual fucking creators? Black, white, Asian, whoever the fuck they are. They're making videos for you, making your fucking money. Why don't you pay them their fair share? Those are my thoughts on it, Jeremiah.
I'm not so well versed in the whole YouTube thing. I don't have a history like you do. Ahead. But yeah, I don't know. It's so they're just giving money to like black creators. I don't know. I don't know where exactly I land. I feel like it's okay. That's the complicated thing, because it's like you said, they could have quite a big fucking following and large ways to make money as far as YouTube. I don't know. I feel like that money definitely could have gone somewhere else. Like, yeah. Even if they said
they want to help the protests, why don't they donate to a charity or something that helps? Something, you know, like.
Would you have been against them donating to?
I wouldn't have been against them donating to anything that helps impoverished communities, whether they're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. I don't fucking care what the fuck nationality, race, or creed they are. As long as it's going to helping poor people, people that are hungry, people that need food, water, shelter, money, anything, right? People that need, that is helping people in need. I wouldn't care.
I don't know.
Or if it's going to like some sort of policy change. You're supporting, like, police reform, and you're putting money towards that. That is also acceptable in my book.
Yeah.
Giving money to black creators that have ways of getting fucking money on their own through Patreon, through their YouTube videos, through donations, through live streams, through all these different fucking means, that isn't helping anyone. At least in my view.
Yeah. And, I mean, because if they just gave them money, that doesn't necessarily also mean that, like, now they will be successful.
Yeah, exactly. They still could make shit content like us.
Yeah, they could have... like, they could even just help them with their content in ways that wasn't just money. You know, like...
Yeah.
It's just kind of... It's just, all right, here's money, and hopefully you do something with it, but, like, they might not. I mean, that money might not mean anything if, again, they still can't... There's no policy change in YouTube for them to continue to make money. Like, you know, it's, you know, giving someone a fish and not, like, teaching them how to fish.
Right.
Same
You're just
shit.
giving them money for nothing, basically. Because someone died, that doesn't help George Floyd, that doesn't help police reform, that doesn't help anything. It's virtue signal bullshit.
Yeah, give to a cause and not just, you know, I don't know. It's, but dude, I hope that, you know, these people who did get the money can help in some way. You grow their...
Hopefully, but that ain't gonna happen. They'll use it, buy new TV, new fucking whatever they need.
Jeez.
You know it.
I
would do it. Like, I'm not saying it, like, I'm just saying, like, I would do the same shit. Like, I'm a successful YouTuber. Oh, here's an extra $1,000. Cool, thanks. I'm gonna buy a new fucking Xbox. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, I feel yeah.
This is buy an ounce of weed, you know? That's what I would do with it, anyways. Now, I know we already talked about it, but Joe Rogan on Spotify really fucking bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was watching the clip on Spotify, and it's just, like, his face. And I'm just like, well, is it going to be in video or not? Because I have to have it in video. I like watching the video. I like putting it on my fucking TV and watching... It's fucking me up, and that's all I have to say about it. But I don't like him on Spotify, but I love his fucking podcast, so I'm like, I already downloaded Spotify so I could watch it. like come on.
He has one now.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck, man? So this next one, we're going to be reading an article. Oh, shit. That 70s Show actor, Danny Matteson, charged with raping 3 women.
Not Hyde.
Yep, it's Hyde from That 70s Show. Matteson was accused of raping 3 women between 2001 and 2003, the Los Angeles County District Attorney Office said. Now, since he's being charged and not convicted, also this is what he looks like. If you've never seen That 70s Show, if you have, he doesn't have a beard for the whole show, but he does for some of the show. But for most of the show, he's got, like, a fucking afro shit, and he doesn't have a beard. But, I don't know why that was important. Anyways, since he's just being charged and not convicted, I'd like to point out why the fuck is this just now coming out? That's my first thought to come to mind, because there has been so many rape accusations and shit. Although he is being charged, so apparently they have enough evidence to charge him.
Yeah, and there was some shit that...
And I didn't hear about anything about this until this came out. So, like, him being charged is the first I've heard about it. With all the other shit, it was accusations first, and then it was...
I didn't hear any rumblings or anything.
He just got charged.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'm a little more inclined to believe it. So that sucks, but maybe he didn't do it, but I'm a little more inclined to believe this one just because I didn't hear anything about it. And then he's getting charged, so they obviously have something against him. But anyways, the actor Danny Matteson, known for his roles in the sitcoms That 70s Show and The Ranch, has been charged with raping 3 women in the early 2000s. So during when the show was on, by the way. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office said on Wednesday, Matteson is accusing of raping 23-year-old women whom he had invited to his home in the Hollywood Hills sometime between October and December of 2003. The district attorney's office said in a news release he is also accused of raping a 28-year-old woman that same year as well as a 23-year-old woman in 2001. All of the allegations of rape occurred in the actor's home. The news release said, Matteson, 44, was charged with 3 counts of rape by force or fear and faces a maximum sentence of 45 years to life in prison if convicted. So this guy, if he's convicted, is gone forever. He's just going to prison forever. And that's crazy. Because that was Hyde from That 70s Show. And he was one of my fucking favorite characters. Just like Bill Cosby. He was like America's fucking dad.
Man, just... it's always surprising.
So many... Yeah.
Because it's like...
It's always surprising who
wait,
it is.
him? Somehow you're like...
Except for like that Weinstein guy. I feel like, yeah, okay. He was raping chicks.
Yeah.
But
Apparently
Bill Cosby, this guy, Hyde, crazy shit. Also, Eric Foreman in Spider-Man 3 sucked dick. That's all I gotta say about that. Let's move on to the videos. This one is The Myth of Voter Suppression by Prager University, which is not a fucking university.
Your face is your moneymaker, so why would you pair it with...
Fucking ads, bro.
Do Republicans win elections by preventing minorities, blacks, Latinos, and others from voting? For those on the left and their allies...
Well, that depends. What time frame are we talking? Because if this is like 1868, then we're talking Democrats preventing black people and minorities from voting because they were the right-leaning motherfuckers back in the day and the Republicans were actually the liberals back in the day. And then, around FDR time, there was a flip and the Democrats became liberal and the Republicans became conservative. So it really depends on what time frame you're talking. Am I wrong, Jeremiah?
As far as who's doing it, because this happens, but like as far as like who would do it or who would benefit from doing it, I agree. Like it has.
At least that's what I've seen. So yes, that does happen, and it's not just it's Democrats back in the day, and then it's Republicans now. So don't fucking kid yourself.
As in the major media, the answer is yes. Even more than that, it's an article of faith. The usual example they offer is state laws, often passed by Republican majority legislatures, requiring voters to present a photo ID at their polling place, something required in almost every other democracy in the world. According to the left, voter ID depresses minority turnout and is therefore a blatant form of racial discrimination. But there's a problem with this accusation. There's no evidence to support it. Minorities are voting in greater numbers and at higher percentages than ever before. The facts and figures are there for anyone.
Also, I like for whenever they have like these like I think like if you're voting you should probably have a thing. Although it's not if you're registered to vote you should be because like why don't they put a fucking photo on your registry? That would just end the problem right there. Because you have your registry and then you got your picture on it. There you go.
Yeah, that would be...
That way you don't have to have two things.
Yeah, that would be easier, but...
Bureaucratic bullshit. So I don't really disagree with that, but I think they should put the photo on your voter registration, because that makes more fucking sense. So that way you eliminate a problem right there, you know what I mean? But also, I like to point out, whenever the PragerU is talking about racial shit like this, they always have a black guy. They always got a fucking black guy that's, like, making the points. So, you know what I'm saying?
Classic move.
It's like Fox News does the same shit.
See, still, progressives and most of the political press don't seem to have noticed. Or maybe they just don't want to look. At a 2019 NAACP dinner in Detroit, California Senator Kamala Harris told the audience that voter suppression in Georgia and Florida cost Democrats gubernatorial races in the 2018 midterm elections. Let's say this loud and clear, said Ms. Harris. Without voter suppression, Stacey Abrams would be the governor of Georgia. Andrew Gillum is the governor of Florida. A few days earlier, Ms. Abrams herself, apparently still bitter over her defeat, made a...
Also, like, voter suppression is not really limited to racial shit, because we've seen it with Bernie Sanders. You're an independent. A lot of independents wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders. Now, in a lot of states, if you're independent, Bernie's running as a Democrat, you have to be a registered Democrat to vote for Bernie Sanders. So a lot of people would go to the polling places wanting to vote for Bernie Sanders, but they would be turned away because they weren't a registered Democrat.
Wait, what?
Yep. That's a form of voter suppression right fucking there.
Yeah, that's...
So it doesn't have to be racial shit. So yeah, voter suppression exists. And honestly, voter suppression exists so they can keep the corporate Democrats in charge, and they can keep the corporate Republicans in charge. Because really, they're on the same fucking coin. They're the same fucking people. You got Republicans, you got Republican light. And then when you got someone else that's like different and has different views that are against that of the corporate sect of the American fucking legislative system, yeah. Like Bernie Sanders, then voter suppression is like, oh, you're an independent, can't vote for him. You're a Republican, you want to vote for Bernie Sanders? Sorry, you have to be a registered Democrat.
That's weird that you have to register for the party and not just...
Yeah, it should just be
just
your
vote
registered.
for who you want to vote for.
Exactly.
Like,
you have to be a Republican to vote for Republican. What if I don't want to vote for a Republican this time?
that's like the illusion of a choice.
Yeah.
Like...
Fucking bullshit.
Similar claim. We had an architect of voter suppression that spent the last 8 years knitting together a system of voter suppression that is unparalleled in America, said Miss Abrams, in reference to...
I don't care what these people are saying. Just get to your fucking point. Does voter... like, the myth of voter suppression. Tell me why it's a fucking myth. I don't care if other people believe it. I believe it. Just prove to me it's a fucking myth. What are you doing?
her Republican opponent, a former Georgia Secretary of State. But if minorities are harmed by mandating voter ID and other anti-fraud measures, such as removing inactive voters from registration rolls, why does the evidence all point to the opposite conclusion? A recent Census Bureau report found that voter turnout in 2018 climbed 11 percentage points from the last midterm election in 2014, surpassing 50% for the first time since 1982. Moreover, the increased turnout was largely driven by the same minority.
There's also like at least 100 million more people living in the United States since 1982.
True, and a lot more people are voting. You know, things have changed enough.
Right, because of Donald Trump and shit.
Yeah, but even like, you know, thinking about the Bushes, thinking about fucking Obama.
Yeah.
You know, like...
It's a very divisive time right now.
Yeah.
Minority voters, Democrats claim are being disenfranchised. Black turnout grew around 27%, and Hispanic turnout increased about 50%.
Whatever, I don't care how much their fucking turnout's going. Voter suppression is still real. Bernie Sanders is a prime example of it. And voter suppression of minorities has been a thing in the past and probably will be a thing in the future. And those are facts. So go fuck yourself. Anyways, this next video... Oh, shit, shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Alright, so this next video... Jesus Freak 777 is an atheist life easier. Yeah, he makes boring ass videos, but we're watching him anyways.
Hello everyone, I wanted to talk about the relatively easy life of an atheist, but before I go into that, I'd like to invite you to check out Toby Mac's brand new album, Eye on It. I bought this...
Go fuck yourself, I don't care.
I low-key fuck with Toby Mac though.
But he can go fuck. That's not what the video's about.
As a matter of fact, there are a lot of Christian bands that have slipped their music into secular mainstream radio and received a lot of success, such as Skillet and 1,000 Foot Crutch. There are other bands that keep the gospel message, quality of the music. It's really just the message of the music. Great here. He has taken this album to #1. I know that Christian music can be. Even if you just type in...
I don't care about your fucking Christian music. I want to hear why is an atheist life easier, because my stance on this is your life is only as easy as how much money you have.
You reject religion in general or Christianity, life of an atheist. I want to explain this. Whenever I've talked to atheists in the past, I've asked, why do you reject religion in general or Christianity specifically?
Because I don't believe in God.
The answers vary, but it seems like the overwhelming amount fall into one of two categories. The first answer being, not enough evidence or proof. And the second being that Christianity or religion is a crutch, that we embrace it because
I don't think religion's a crutch. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be a crutch. Like, it's definitely possible. But for most people, I think they actually legitimately believe in what they say they believe in.
Yeah. Like,
But
I don't know.
I just don't believe in God. And why don't I believe in God? I don't see any evidence for him. So I guess I fall into the first category.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I guess pretty much same. No evidence. And I don't know. The biblical God kind of seems fucked up.
He's an asshole.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
even if he was real, I wouldn't. I mean, I would admit that he's God or whatever, and he created the universe, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna fucking kiss his ass. I'm still gonna call him a dickhead.
I would not, but
makes our life easier. I want to briefly address both of these points. Not enough proof or evidence. I'm going to be brief on this because I think many of us understand that proof and evidence can be very subjective. What's evidence to you might not be evidence to me. A clear example of this would be the recent meteor.
Yes, you believe in anecdotes, and I believe in, like, actual scientific evidence and proof.
physical things.
Yeah, you believe in little stories you hear about on Facebook and shit. I believe in, like, scientific, like, published journal shit, right?
Yeah.
So...
Concrete shit.
Right,
that,
right.
Like,
This guy's, like, reading his fucking mom's Facebook page, being like, see, Jesus is real. This man started an engine without an engine being in a car. Like...
what?
It's an old ad. I'll tell you about it sometime on the podcast.
Great strike on Jupiter. Jupiter recently took another hit for our planet. This was an observable event, and this is pretty cool. When it was being reported, it was reported that Jupiter is often referred to as the vacuum cleaner of our solar system. It has a large enough mass, large enough gravitational pull that it sucks into it items that might otherwise strike our planet and cause us harm. I see this as evidence for a creator, and you may not.
What?
Yeah,
Like
why? That makes no sense. Jupiter's big and takes meteors away from us. Okay.
God's real.
Yeah,
It's like,
like,
wait,
what?
But how? That
Also, there's like theories on like why our solar system formed the way it did, and they, like theories that like where hypothesis is that a lot of other solar systems formed much like ours did, with the rocky planets being closer to the sun because they have more mass. Hence, they're going to be like, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be closer to the fucking biggest thing in the solar system. And then the gases, which spread more out,
Yeah.
which would form the gas giants, would be towards the end of the solar system. So that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and then also, like, it's like being like, look at the sunrise. Isn't that proof of God? No, it's proof that there's a sun and that we revolve around it.
We revolve around it and Earth turns.
Jupiter being big and sucking in meteors is only proof that Jupiter is big and can suck in meteors. All because it protects our planet is a mere coincidence.
Literally, like there's no proof. Like it's not doing a weird thing that we can't explain.
Yeah, exactly.
And even
there's nothing supernatural about it whatsoever. It's just how our solar system happens to be formed.
It's physics. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
I see Jupiter's very existence as being evidence that God knew what he was doing, that he knew that the Earth would need some type of protection, so Jupiter is there. And
Why did God make the meteors that were going to strike into the Earth in the first place?
Why didn't
God put like a fucking force field around the Earth that protected us from meteors? There's other things that could have happened. And also, we've been struck with meteors like a lot.
literally a bunch?
How did the dinosaurs
even currently,
die?
like meteors still
Did
fucking
God
hit
not
us.
care about the dinosaurs? And also, what was that
That was a side project.
Yeah, what the fuck was that shit about the dinosaurs? It was like, God wanted dinosaurs all over the planet. He was like, fuck it. And then he fucking destroyed them. And he's like, I'm gonna make humans now.
It's the first draft.
Right. Like,
You
what
had to
the
perfect
fuck?
the ingredients.
has a purpose. I believe everything within our solar system has a purpose, and I believe everything is hinged upon something else. It's like a chain effect. If you remove one large part of the equation,
That just sounds like science. Like
Yeah, it's like the food chain or whatever.
Yeah, it's like
it's
just
like
scientific...
it happened that way because of evolution, and
Yeah.
that's why it is
It's just,
so intertwined.
It's just law.
Yeah.
It's just how shit happens.
Right.
Naturally. I don't know.
But also, like, whatever.
The system fails. I see Jupiter's existence as the vacuum cleaner of our solar system.
What's the fucking purpose of cancer in the universe?
Also, the system constantly fails. I mean, we have black holes and supernovas and all this.
And our sun's gonna die someday, and Jesus is gonna come back before then.
Sun's gonna expand.
We get hit by meteors all the time.
Yeah.
Just that alone, bro. And then, like, natural disasters, hurricanes and shit. Tons of people die. There's so much poverty and hunger and killings in the world. And so many people believe in a different fucking god, yet yours is fucking special. Go fuck yourself.
Like, the Australia and the Amazon were, like, on fire, very close to each other, just completely on fire. Just...
Yeah.
Like, what like...
System as being evidence for a creator, and you may not. Now I'd like to move on to the whole idea of Christianity basically being a crutch. C.S. Lewis has been quoted as saying, "I didn't go to religion to make me happy. I always knew a bottle of port would do that. If you want a religion to make you feel really comfortable, I certainly don't recommend Christianity."
From what I've noticed from watching some people in my short fucking 20-year existence, it seems whenever you get older past a certain point, you eventually become, like, if you're like a Christmas Christian, you know, you go to church every once a year on Christmas or Easter or whatever. Eventually, whenever you get older, you're like, get more involved with the church because you're getting closer to death, so you get more fearful. So for those people, I don't doubt that they believe in Jesus Christ, but also at the same time, I feel like maybe it is a tiny bit of a crutch, you know what I mean? Like, I think they believe, but I think they're a little deluded in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like...
Because they're fearful of death, so they want to go to heaven and see their family, because they're getting closer to it. It's sad, and then they get fucking robbed by the church.
Yeah, that's always unfortunate when the people in power, as far as the church goes, do take advantage
of the elderly.
people that they're
or the
supposed
young.
to be.
They like getting them young too, like me. Except for I escaped that shit.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you can definitely make it a crutch, but I don't know. I feel like if you...
I feel for most people, like, they legitimately believe it. They may fear death and they may want to go to heaven. That might be part of why they do it, but just the fact that people believe it alone, that means it's not a crutch. Although, I think it can be a crutch, and it is a crutch for some people.
I almost feel like if you're doing it, quote-unquote, right, it has to be a crutch.
Yeah. Because,
like,
you're scared of going to hell.
Yeah.
And then you give money to God, and the money ultimately doesn't go to God, it goes to the pastor. And then he fucking buys his new Hummer. And then...
Or his fucking jet plane.
Right. Like, what the fuck? And then your mom dies of fucking cancer because she can't pay the fucking medical bills. And then she goes bankrupt before she dies of cancer, and then all that shit, all that debt goes to you.
It's all a part of the plan.
Yeah. God's stupid fucking plan. I'm enough of this Jesus freak shit. Fucking YouTube ads. I think this next one you're gonna like it. Alright. Yep. Jeremiah's gotta pay attention for this one. We watched this a while back because I was like, dude, first off, this guy's gay. He likes to pretend that he's straight, as you will find out, but he's fucking gay as shit. He likes women.
How can he be gay though? He likes women.
You'll find out. But I mean, you know, but they'll find out. But he says some off-color shit that I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And I was legit just showing him this guy because I thought it was funny because he was obviously a closeted gay. But he did a lot of acid and shit, so I thought that was cool, and he was a hippie. So I was like, hey, watch this fucking video. It's a cool video. And other than that off-color shit, it is a cool video.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'll find out what the fuck we're talking about.
I began to have changes in my life as I was As I enlisted in the United States Air Force, I was being drafted. And
I'm surprised he did not join the Navy.
I was afraid of being drafted into the Army and being placed into the front lines in Vietnam. I thought if I'd enlist in the Air Force, I could avoid that, and I was 1A. I didn't really want to go to Canada and dodge the draft that way, so I went ahead and enlisted because I was hot on the 1A draft.
He was hot on the 1A draft. Dude, you're gay as shit. Alright, whatever. He hasn't said the women shit. You'll find out, motherfucker.
And I enlisted in the Air Force after being a Fuller Brush salesman for a summer. And at this point, and this is kind of an issue, I don't know how much of an issue it is, but that is where I first got involved with women. I had gone through college never having kissed a girl.
That boy is zesty as fuck.
Right. That is where I first got involved with women. Women. Oh, I love women. You know what I mean?
And during that summer, I was raped. But I didn't complain, you know. And
so you weren't raped?
I mean, if he didn't consent to it,
I've had experiences where chicks just start doing shit to me, but I'm fine with it. I don't consider that rape. I consider it like, oh shit, what a nice surprise.
I still consider that rape.
Nah, I ain't gonna tell on them. I mean, I guess I just did, but you don't know their fucking names. Probably don't even believe me. Anyways.
From there, that became an issue. And it did intertwine in things, and I'll explain that. But as I went on, I went up to my place of recruitment was West Yellowstone, Montana, where my MGB Roadster wire wheels broke down. Much to my dad's chagrin, I had sold the Chevy Bel Air for the MGA Roadster. And it was a piece of junk.
He's a storyteller, whatever.
And it finally broke down, and I had nothing left. Though I was accepted at University of Washington, I said bag it and enlisted on a whim in West Yellowstone, Montana. My recruiter picked me up. He was, interestingly, my first gay that I ran into. Later, I was going to find out that I was real attractive to gay people. And
I can see why. I can really see why. I'm surprised you didn't do anything with them. I'm not gay bashing, by the way. I'm bisexual. Just so you know. But this guy, he's just being like, oh, I'm straight. I ran into this gay. You know what I mean?
And it was my first encounter with gays.
Yeah, I bet you've had a lot of encounter with gays.
Propositioned a lot by gays. I wished I was by women, but never was. And he propositioned me on my way to the Air Force, which was my first induction into the unusual. Then I went down to basic training in
Gay people aren't that unusual. They're just people who are attracted to the same sex. It's not that crazy. I'm just...
Air Force Base. The physical thing was no problem. Other guys were passing out. I considered it a challenge. But I began to start to hate the Air Force.
Oh yeah, don't ask, don't tell.
The promises that they gave me didn't come true about sending me on to college right away. As I had high marks in language aptitude, they made me a telephone operator. Things started to go downhill, but they did tell me, your assignment is Homestead Air Force Base right outside of Miami. I thought, well, that's not bad. And I was shipped down to Homestead Air Force Base in the Air Force. I had one thing in mind and one thing only, and that was women. That's all I wanted. And that's all I searched for, diligently. But eventually, that became a hollow scene. I finally met a nice girl.
Because you're gay. I gotta quit with the gay shit.
He had a whole
that
they
lot
couldn't
of women.
fill.
Yeah. He needed another hole. Oh, fuck, bro. I really like women. You know what I mean?
And she dropped me eventually after I'd dropped her 3 times. And it was then that I became truly suicidal. Nothing to live for. I didn't want to be a hippie. I didn't like the long hairs. I got sick of sex. I got sick.
Got sick of sex. Right.
Ew, sex. Like, what?
He already said he wasn't much of a pussy slayer back in the day. So, like, you know what I'm saying? How could you get sick of sex?
Of the Air Force and their lies that they were going to send me on to college, which I didn't really want anyway. And at that...
So I guess he's sick of sex, but I'm saying you want to fuck a bunch of women and you don't want to go to college.
Time, I wasn't into the racial movement. I wasn't into any movement. I
wasn't into the racial movement.
I'm sure you weren't, sir.
That's some foreshadowing.
Frozen. So I took some deadly poison, put it on my nose, and said goodbye, cruel world, and nothing happened. Took a fudge sickle and froze my wrists and said I've had it, and gropingly slashed away with a razor blade. I didn't want the pain, but I wanted out. And it wasn't a deep enough cut. I seriously looked for some reds. At that time, I knew that they were sleeping pills, and I couldn't find any, or I could have been gone today. And finally, on leave, this friend of mine who first turned me on to pot said, "Hey, you want to try this LSD?" A couple of the guys in the barracks had tried it and said, "Hey, it's wild." But I was still straight as a...
It's more than wild. It's my second favorite fucking drug. Maybe third. I think it goes shrooms, coke, acid, then pot.
Pot's fourth?
It's my daily bread. But if I had my choice in, you know, what I would do, like, I wouldn't do it every day, but I'd probably do mushrooms and then coke and then acid. But also, I really like acid because I feel like you're more susceptible to a good trip. I've had a lot more bad trips on mushrooms than I've had on acid. So, that being said, I might use acid more recreationally than shrooms. That also being said, whenever a shroom trip goes fucking right, boy, does it fucking go right. Woo.
Ring and said, "No thanks." I took a hit of Osley White Lightning acid. He took me up into the hills outside Denver, Colorado as I was on leave from the Air Force. And I became an instant hippie. Instantly, because of that acid.
Also, I saw pictures of, like, Woodstock back in the day, and they were selling acid tabs for $1. I mean, back then, that was a lot more money, but still, like, this is like $10-15 a tab now.
Fucking inflation, but yeah, that's...
Badass.
Man, I wish I could have gone to Woodstock.
And they legit said, tabs of acid for sale, $1. Like, on a big old sign. Shit's badass.
And to look at straight people with their high heels eating white flour hamburgers at a McDonald's hamburgers, over 1 million sold, and saying, "No thanks, baby."
Also, he says straight people a lot, and I ain't gonna make fun of that, because if you're not a druggie like me or Jeremiah, then you don't know that straight people refers to people who don't use drugs. If you're straight, we don't fuck with you typically.
Or a square.
Yeah, straight, square type shit.
I fell in love with nature, and I looked at the rocks. I could sit there looking at weeds that were normally an item of horror to my parents, and trip on the intricate structures of ragweed and thistle plant. And I began to become a discerning acid head. I only took it every 3 days, mind you, so that I could clean up properly.
Which is a lot of acid. Holy shit.
Every 3 days?
Every 3 motherfucking days. I take acid, shit, once a month. Once a month if I have a steady supply of acid. And even then I might do it like once every 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, one time I had 5 tabs, I didn't take that all. I didn't take that all. It took me a minute for me to take that all. But yeah, every 3 days a tab of acid, that's crazy.
And all. And then again, I started liking pot more, hash, the whole thing. But the real issue was when I went to San Francisco on leave in 1968 in the summertime. And I'm sorry, it was 1967 in the summer. It was the love that bought me into the hippie.
Also, I mean, people were really racist back then, and that's not cool, but I will say 1967 sounds like a badass year, just to me, because I'm white, and also, the Doors came out with, like, some of their best fucking albums in 1967. The cars looked like fucking badass pieces of machinery. Acid was $1. You could buy a fucking bag of weed, an ounce of weed, sorry, not a bag. Let's go by measurements. An ounce of weed for $40 fucking dollars. Woo!
Damn.
Back then must have been a great time to live. Although I guess the weed wasn't as great, but hey, acid for $1, you can't go wrong there.
They didn't know it wasn't great.
They didn't know it wasn't great.
That's all they had.
They just smoked it and got high as fuck.
Movement. True, I liked the acid. I didn't want the straight world all of a sudden. And all of a sudden, I looked at people's hair on their face and thought it was good looking. The raggeder, the better. It started to look good to me. People that had crew cuts look weird now. Their ears stuck out. And different things like that. The drug had an incredible, life-changing force to me. But I was so suicidal, what did I have to lose? And now I was being loved on at least some level. Here I had a military haircut, and these hippies were trusting me, welcoming me in to crash in their little pad in Haight-Ashbury. And I wanted to stay there, but my order said depart to Cape Lisburne, Alaska, 750 miles north of the Arctic Circle. So I took 35 hits of Osley White Lightning, about
35 hits of acid at once.
Woo!
Woo!
Like,
The most I've ever done at once is 2. And then I had a third one at my peak.
like, is reality a thing after fucking 30? Like,
I know. This guy's still tripping. Like, for real. Woo! 35 hits of acid. I can't imagine that.
If a dude like, hey,
That's crazy.
Hey, can I get 35 hits? I'd be like, what the fuck? What?
You're gonna do it over, like, months, right? Nah. I'm having a party tonight.
Put that shit on a $1 bill, and I'm gonna put the whole dollar in my mouth.
Right.
Like, what?
Like, what the fuck? 35 hits. Most mushrooms I've ever done is 12, and people call me a crackhead because of that. Well, I ain't doing 35 hits of acid, mind you. That's like some next level crackhead shit. Like, I guess one time I had 1 hit of acid, then I had an ecstasy pill, and then I had another hit of acid. So, like, I got pretty geeked that night. But, like, and then the time I took 12 mushrooms, I thought birds were pecking at my fucking legs. And I walked into the room and I legit looked at Jeremiah in the fucking eyes and I was like, are my legs broken? After walking into the fucking room. Like,
just calmly, are my legs
imagine
broken?
35 hits. Dude, everything's broken.
I can't even imagine.
Dude.
Are you even walking?
Right. That's fucking crazy.
gram of hash and a few joints and took off for northern Alaska. But the problem was, they found my acid taped underneath the side horse in the gymnasium. I was still holding on to a gymnast goal a little bit, possibly going back to college. Painting portraits.
A gymnast? I know a gymnast.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not trying to stereotype people, but this gymnast I know is gay. Just putting that out there.
Of the guy's girlfriends for $20 a shot and taking acid and watching the moonlight sun and the surf come in oranges and purples and greens and other colors on the northern coast of America. And finally decided to give the Air Force my 30-day notice. I had to be honorable. I didn't play gay. I didn't go AWOL. But I said, I am...
I mean, he didn't play gay.
But
He could have.
Yep.
But he didn't. He played it straight. And...
in 30 days. I was out of acid. I was out of hash. And I was out of there. And they sure enough...
That is my opinion on things. I agree with him completely. Out of acid, out of hash, I'm out of here. I like that motto.
After 30 days, shipped me down to a prison, military stockade in Elmendorf Air Force Base. Or wait a minute. Yeah, Elmendorf Air Force Base, I guess it was. In Fairbanks, Alaska, where I did 5 months out of 6. But they didn't take away all my pay. They failed to take my pay in a judiciary mistake. I had a bad conduct discharge, but I flew back down to San Francisco and rented a flat and started my first of 10 hippie communes. There was a level of love in the hippie movement that was really true. There was a camaraderie. It's what I call a filial love. It's not a deeper agape love, the kind of love that says, I'll die for you. But
I don't know what any of those words mean. Like, I know what love means. I don't know what
Agape?
filio or agape. But I don't... Yeah.
Fancy acid words.
was a valid love. And there was a family feeling. And you were in this commune, that commune, and then the greater hip movement. And let me tell you, I was a hippy-dippy flower child tripper. And I learned how to play conga drums in Golden Gate Park. And I learned how to climb the trees with strangers and enter into a level of acceptance that I had never had. And I'll never forget at a big BN where Big Brother and the Holding Company and Janis Joplin were singing, because you got yours and I got mine, and we were saying, yeah, that world's no good and our world is good. And I would look across at the BN and see people from the same commune that had come to greet each other, warmly hug one another in a huge hug. And I said, hey man, I've arrived. This is the thing for me. I've got a family now. And I did. I had people that followed me down to the police station as they were busting me and try to get me from being busted, and they in turn were busted with me. And I had a level of love there. I was Big Daddy at the commune, you know. I had rented the apartment, and we went ahead and sold drugs and stuff. But there were things that started to cloud the love, and it was the Spades.
Whew.
Yep. He's talking about all this love and this brotherly commune, and we have a sense of camaraderie, and we're fucking hippy-dippy flower love childs, and we love everyone.
And we're hugging and
When I first watched this, I was like, Spades, what the fuck does that... I didn't know what it meant. So I continued watching the video, and I got to the conclusion, well, maybe it means like undercover cops are coming in there, like trying to bust them up.
Mm-hmm.
Then I showed it to Jeremiah a few weeks later. Jeremiah, what does Spades mean? I didn't know this. I'm surprised I didn't know this.
It's one of the many colorful derogatory terms for black people.
So he's talking about black people.
Yes.
This guy who proclaims that he's for love and peace and shit, and he loves taking acid and smoking dope. Then the Spades came in.
Yeah, the black people ruined
love. The black
love.
people came in.
Like
what? Black people ruin love, bro.
You asked me earlier what my attitude was on Spades. This didn't help it. Because I learned to say, hey, the Spades are cool. Hey, brother, you're cool. But the Spades was ripping us off. They were taking our drugs. At gunpoint in some cases. The Spades came in later on.
Those are just bad people.
I don't like how he's constantly saying Spades.
Yeah.
Like,
And he's like, they came and took our drugs, but those are just people that fucking robbed you because they're pieces of shit.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the men.
Yeah.
Black. You probably were being robbed by people in your commune. You just didn't know it because you're high as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you just knew it because,
exactly.
oh, this person has a gun.
And you didn't judge them because they're white. And also, I think this shit was recorded in like 1990, 1989 or some shit. Maybe even more recent than that.
Called the Spades, and they interrupted the flower child scene. And I didn't care about money. I wanted to trip. I wanted to love. I still wanted women. And I wanted an old lady by this time. Not just any woman. I wanted an old lady. And
I wanted an 80-year-old piece of ass that I could fuck every night.
I still wasn't that heavily into the cause, but my favorite song was, Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now.
Except the Spades.
They ruined love.
Right.
Yeah, let's all love one another. I like this kind of hippie songs. People get ready. There's a train a-coming, picking up passengers from coast to coast. But then, too, I identified as a hippie. I was a hippie. I wasn't ashamed of it. I was...
Alright, I think we got the point. You're a hippie and you hate spades. That's basically what and it came at the very end of the fucking video. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like-
he was talking about all the love, and
then at the very end, he's like, and then the spades came in. But I thought that was worthy of note.
Josh Fierstein here. You know.
Yeah, we got more time for another video. I can prove God exists in 3 minutes. Well, that's all you got, Josh Fierstein.
A lot of people have asked me, how is it that you can believe in a God that you've never seen? Well, the reality is we believe in things that we've never seen all the time. I can walk through a gallery of art, and even though I didn't see the painter paint the painting, even though I may not be there to shake his hand, the reality is he exists, and I have proof because I look at his art. I look at his painting.
So, leading in with that, I'm assuming he's gonna go, look at the universe. So basically, it's Jesus Freak's argument. Like, look at Jupiter. It fucking prevents meteors from coming into the Earth. So, that is not proof of God, and hopefully I'm wrong that you don't have that argument.
And the thing with a painter and a painting...
We know the painter existed.
There's proof that
and then also,
they
paintings
existed.
don't occur in nature. All because nature exists isn't proof of God. It just proves that nature is, exists. Proof of God would be something more than that.
It would be like his signature or some
Yeah,
shit. Like,
which we haven't, and then they're like, well, that's DNA. No, it isn't. That's just proof of DNA. Like, it would have to
There's
be
no
something...
connection
It would
to
have to be
him.
something so grand, so beyond imagination, that only, DMT.
The same way that a hunter can be tracking a deer or a bear, and even though he's never seen it and laid eyes on it, he's seen its footprints, he's seen its droppings, it's evidence that it's been there. When I look around at other human beings and I look at creation, it's proof to me that there is a creator, the same way that art...
Why did this creator put a fun box next to a fucking, a landfill? And by that I mean... Why is your fucking genitals where you fuck next to your fucking asshole where you shit out? I mean, also, I like fucking people in the ass, so I'm not knocking that. But, that being said, right, it's still, that causes a lot of disease and STDs. Like, not fucking people in the ass, which I'm sure does, which I don't care. But, just the fact that they're so close together. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. Also, guys, pee out of
And
the
also,
same...
we eat through the same fucking... and breathe through the same hole. While we eating, we could be choking and die to death. Die to death.
is proof that there is an artist. You know, it is that we believe in things that we don't see every single day. Whether it's heat, well, we feel heat, but we can't see it. Whether it's gravity, well, we feel the effects of it, but we've never been able to see gravity.
We can measure that shit.
Yeah, we
Heat
can...
is caused by photons, right? Or is that just sunlight? That might just be sunlight. But anyways, heat is created by, I don't fucking know, because I'm not a scientist.
It's energetic.
But
atoms and
scientists can
molecules.
explain that shit.
Yeah.
Like, Newton explained gravity in fucking 1666 or some shit,
Yeah,
right?
we can measure gravity, and it
we can't. Me and Jeremiah can't. Scientists can.
Yeah, but it reacts in basically the same way all the time.
Here, watch. I'm gonna drop this pen. Gravity, motherfucker.
It'd be fucked up if it didn't fall.
Right.
God.
That would be proof of God.
The reality is that we believe in it. Why? Because we've experienced it and we've felt it. The same way that millions and millions, if not billions of people around this world have felt and experienced God. That's why they can say that they can believe in...
Have felt and experienced God. I like how he says that.
But which God, though? That's the
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. People from all around the world feel different fucking gods. Some multiple fucking gods. I thought back in the day I felt what was God. Now I realize I was just, I don't know, feeling fucking happy. Like, it feels nice to be in a church and have a community.
Euphoria, like, community, camaraderie.
They're all singing and shit, fuck yeah.
You know
what I mean?
it's amazing.
It's a nice fucking feeling, I'll give you that, but that ain't God.
It's amazing what your mind can do, and like, you know, as far as belief and
and placebo
emotion,
and shit.
Yeah.
Him, and it doesn't make us better than an atheist who doesn't believe in a God, but yet the atheist cannot even claim to possess the totality of truth. And so how can they say that he doesn't exist? For there is no proof that he doesn't, and yet my experience is proof enough to me that he does. That doesn't make me better than an atheist. It simply means that I've had an experience that he hasn't had. The same way that maybe I could have...
But if an atheist dies before he doesn't have that experience that you apparently have had to believe in God, then that atheist goes to hell. How is that fucking fair? How is that God being fair? Why didn't that atheist get that experience? Why are you so fucking special? You fucking fat ass motherfucker who needs to learn how to fucking record in landscape mode.
Went to Disneyland and experienced Disneyland while maybe they haven't. It doesn't make somebody better. It just means that they've had an experience and shared something.
Wait, so is God like Disneyland? Is that...
Yeah, God's like Disneyland. Some people went to Disneyland, some people don't. If you don't, you go to fucking hell and burn for eternity. Sounds like a cool guy,
I don't know if I'm going to go to Disneyland still. I don't know.
I want to go to Disneyland, honestly. They got like lightsaber building shit now. Fuck yeah.
Fucking nerd.
That somebody else hasn't. That's why I'm here today to tell you, if you've never felt God, well, now's the time. The Bible says that he's as close as the mention of his name, and there's literally billions of people around the world that would agree right now with me.
Alright, I'm gonna try it live on the podcast. You ready? Dear Jesus, and God, and the Holy Spirit, I want to let you in my heart. I want to feel you in my heart. Feel you come in me. Nothing. Oh wait, amen. Nothing.
Nothing? Not a tingle?
Nothing. I don't feel shit, bro. I don't see this as fucking... God, come down. Please, give me this fucking experience. I'm an atheist and I don't believe you, and I can prove live on the fucking podcast that you exist. Amen. Give him a minute. Alright. Right, God ain't fucking real. Go fuck yourself. I think that's all the time we have for video. I'll let him play his little fucking spiel at the end, but...
That they've
this will be the last video we play.
Experienced his love and his mercy and his grace, and maybe right now it's your opportunity to. So I challenge you, no matter where you're at, or maybe today, tonight, sometime in the privacy of your own home or wherever you may be, I challenge you to simply ask God to show himself to you. Maybe not in a visible manifestation.
I just asked God to show himself to me, and I asked him to fucking come in me. He didn't show me his penis, and he didn't definitely come in me. He didn't come in my heart, least of all. I just did it live on the podcast. Fuck the privacy of my own... I like how he says that, too. Ask God to show himself to you in the privacy of your home. You know what I mean? I don't know, that was funny. Anything left you want to say on the Bull Session podcast?
Okay.
About 3 minutes. 3.5.
Oh shit, 3 minutes. I don't know. I mean,
be quick about it.
I agree with like just very minute parts of him just going like, hey, just because someone hasn't felt what I felt doesn't make me better. I wish more Christians believe that. I don't know if he believes that, but yeah, it's whatever. Do you? If God's real to you, he real to you.
That being said, I don't believe in him. And also, if you put yourself out on the internet making videos like this guy, I have no problem whatsoever criticizing you. And calling you names and shit. I have no problem doing that. That being said, if you're out in public, going to church or whatever, if I meet you in public or whatever, I have in the past gotten debates with people, which, again, I've thought about it. I'm like, I shouldn't do that. But, like, it'll usually be, like, some fucked up shit where I'm being a dick or some shit. But anyways, normally, I ain't talking about that shit to people. Because, like, I like people. And, like, that hurts people's feelings when you do that shit. You know what I mean? But if you're putting yourself out on the internet, that's a different story. And I'm gonna fucking come after you and I'm gonna make videos about you.
Bitch.
Yeah, bitch. Anyways, Bull Session Podcast, #9. I said hashtag. Go fuck myself. Fucking #9, motherfucker.